Hey guys, it's JP, and I just finished a game where I was in a position there. I was down 2 pawns, and you could see it on the screen here. This is the key position. Um, Rather than going for a slow loss, playing defensively until Black uses his 2 pawns to overwhelm me, I went for the draw in this game. I didn't think I could win it, so I actually played a rook sacrifice here to try to set up a perpetual check. And it turned out I wasn't able to get a perpetual, but I was actually able to eventually get to a position to where I could claim a threefold repetition draw. For those of you who don't know, if the same position occurs 3 times in a chess game, you can claim a draw. So there's more than one way for a draw to come about, but that is one of them. Another one is perpetual check. So if I can just keep checking you forever and you can't stop the checks, it's a draw. Perpetual check sort of turns into a threefold repetition. It's just one type of threefold repetition. But anyway, so let's look at this. It's my move, and I play rook takes h6. So he's not forced to capture here. But if he doesn't, then I'm gonna, I'm gonna get in. I'm gonna get in there, I'm creating some counterplay for myself. So he accepts, and I set this up where I captured the pawn with my queen. So I'm cutting the king off here. The king has nowhere to go. If Black doesn't defend correctly this move, it's gonna be checkmate. So I'm threatening this. So he defends in this way, where he's threatening my queen. But what I have is this check. And Black doesn't have any other legal move except to bring his rook in to block this check. And I'm not going to recapture with my queen. Rather, I'm going to recapture with my rook and set up this string of checks. Rook comes in, I take, he takes, and now I take with check. There's no pawns in front of the king, and I have an open queen. And now, if you look at the board, if I screw, it's very easy for me to screw this up. Pretty much any mistake from this point out should be game over, because my king is very exposed. I'm down a pawn and a rook. But what I have is this resource to keep checking him. And just to give you an idea, this started on move 33. This game lasted 88 moves. So I'll show you. So he moves, and I check. And he blocks, but I check. And he moves, but I check. You could see my queen was centralized, and I have so much reign over this board that it becomes near impossible, even though he has an extra piece, to block all my checks. And as long as I keep checking him, he can't do anything except for block the checks or move his king away. So this is getting dangerous. I actually ran out of checks at this particular point, but I played a quiet move to set up for another check. And I had time. And I check again. And so I'll sort of scroll through this a little bit just to show you, like, this was no joke. This was, and keep in mind what I said. Like, you could look at the timestamp right here. I had 18.3 seconds, 11 seconds, 12 seconds, 14 seconds. So I'm forced to make these decisions in 2 to 3 seconds, and I was able to keep this up for like 15 minutes straight. And we're looking at this engine evaluation. Black is -5, so he's definitely winning, but he has to exactly stop maneuver his pieces in a way that stops the checks, and he just couldn't do it. And at this point, you could see that I also have a bit of a fortification. So he has 2 attackers on the square, but my queen and my king defend. So if he was to, let's say, take, well, then I take with my queen. You're thinking, oh, well, he's just going to trade queens. Yeah, but if he takes with his queen, I just take with my king, and then it's king and 3 pawns versus king and 2 pawns. And I would have a pass pawn. So I would actually be winning in that situation. And so here he played this move because he was very, very tired of blocking checks. But I was going to keep going. I'm going to keep checking this guy. I was even able to I had spare time to pick up a pawn. Now I'm insulting him. And this looks dangerous. But I have a king move. And look, his king is blocking his rook. So he can't even, if this king wasn't here, I wouldn't have been able to do that. Because then he could just play queen takes if this rook had vision on that. So I was able to move, and he moves out of the way. Okay, check. Check, 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 check. And we're coming to the point where he's boxed himself into the corner. This is what I was waiting for. This is where my 50 or so precise checks, my biding my time, is finally paying off. He has nothing to do but move his queen up and down. Well, I mean, he can move over there, but then we just get back to this, he's in a box position. See? Queen up and down. And on move 88, I was able to claim a 3-fold repetition. So, what you all need to take away from this game is if you find yourself in a position where you are losing, but you still have your queen on the board, or you have some... It doesn't have to be the queen. The queen is just the easiest to do this with. But if you have pieces where you can continually check the opponent, even though you're losing, you can set up a draw. And you'll notice that I actually gained 1 point, and he lost 6 for drawing this because he was about 40 points higher than me. So you can still gain points from a draw too, which is great, and you lose nothing. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.